Let me walk you through what tends to be my lowest earning month of the year from self-publishing on Amazon KDP. If we look at my earnings for the whole of 2023, you can see that I make the majority of my money from November through to March. As you can see, the peak is in December, and that got me just under $17,000 in royalties. However, from April through to October, my royalties stabilize and sit around $4,000 a month. June, July are typically the lowest months for me. This year, the cycle remains the same. For July, I received just over $4,000 in royalties. Now, I'm more than happy with this amount because, as you may know, most of my time this year has been spent on creating the self-publishing success strategy, which is a step-by-step course showing you all of my secrets on how I've managed to sell over 150,000 books. Just a quick note, I've extended the launch price discount until midnight tonight. Then the prices will increase and won't be this low again until possibly Black Friday. You can find more details about it and client testimonials by clicking on the link in the description. So because my time was consumed with creating the course, I've neglected creating new books. And I think for 2024 so far, I've only published 3 or 4 low and medium content books. And for that reason, I'm thrilled that my royalties have stayed at this level. I do, however, have Amazon advertising to thank for this, as running ads to my books keeps them ranking and bringing in the sales. Now that the course is finished, I'm very much looking forward to getting a lot more books published until the end of the year. I do have a backlog of about 6 or 7 coloring books that my illustrator has created, and she's done that over the last 3 or 4 months. So I need to upload those and get them bringing in the sales. I'm excited for you to see how my royalties gain traction from launching these new books and also the low content books that I plan to create too. The rest of the year will be heavily focused on self-publishing, and I'm not going to give myself any other side projects, no matter how much I want to. So just publishing books and creating the odd YouTube video for you guys. My top 10 best-selling books brought in roughly half of my royalties. These books consist of 1 notebook, 3 coloring books, 2 activity books, 1 guest book, and 3 logbooks. So a nice collection of low and medium content books. My hardcover books brought in about 9% of my total royalties, which is a real nice bonus, and I plan to create a lot more hardcover books in the coming months. Hardcovers tend to do well around Christmas. The reason for that is people that are buying a book as a gift are happy to pay a bit more of a premium rather than a $7 paperback. So that is something to consider for your collection. Think about repurposing some of your paperbacks to hardcover, especially if they're likely to be given as a gift. Now, onto my expenses. Here are my costs for advertising, outsourcing, and subscriptions. I really need to get rid of Adobe Illustrator as I don't use it as much as I used to. I do have Affinity Designer, which is similar, and that was a one-off payment. Don't judge me, but I bought Affinity Designer nearly 2 years ago on a Black Friday deal, and I haven't bothered to open it, let alone learn how to use it. But if I did learn how to use it, I can then get rid of Adobe Illustrator. My ad spend has been quite high this year, but as I mentioned, these ads help to maintain the rankings of my books and also help with organic sales too. Aside from publishing 3 or 4 books in the last 7 months, the only time I've dedicated to self-publishing is to check my ad campaigns weekly and fine-tune them. So although my ad spend may seem high, I'm happy to pay it in order for my business to be a bit more passive. With that being said, now that I have more time, I plan to totally reorganize my ad campaigns and trim a lot of the fat. I paid my illustrator $150 last month. She had some time off because, as I mentioned, I have a big backlog of books to upload. Soon she'll be back working with me almost full time. After all of my expenses, I am left with $2,433. Like I said, I'm very happy with this amount considering it has been fairly passive whilst I've been working on other things. I would say that I spent about 7 hours each week fine-tuning my ads, so this is a nice return on my time. You may be thinking that my expenses are high and that you wouldn't want to allocate the same amount as me. And of course, that's fair. But I have scaled to this amount by reinvesting back into this business. These are just royalties put back into the business rather than spending them on my own lifestyle. The same can be said for outsourcing. Outsourcing your work is not essential. Especially in the beginning, you may not have the budget for outsourcing. I didn't outsource anything for the first 2 years of my self-publishing career. But over time, as your royalties grow, you can reinvest back into the business, which will help your overall business scale faster. But I also mentioned that these months are typically my lowest. So it might not seem as lucrative at the moment, but from November to March, everything that I've invested into ads and outsourcing will bring me a bigger return than what we're seeing at the moment. It's always good to look at the bigger picture, and I know from personal experience to trust the process. So that is it for July's income report. Thanks for watching. Take care.